Good day, how are you? Welcome. Today is a Tuesday, the 14th of September 2021. This is 4pm, well it's nearly 4pm snack. It's the one we have at 4pm. So if you're on catch up and this is the one you want, stick around. Pop us a comment in, say hello, all the normal stuff. You know, if it's not the one you want, you can find them all on Facebook. They're all there. You can do the same, pop us a comment in. It's our Tuesday sway and stretch. Thank you very much firstly to Bex, who's on her northern tour at the moment. Who covered for me yesterday. I was working at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, so couldn't be here with you, but I'm here today. And it's good to be with you. Christine Perry, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever. I'm in the middle. Good afternoon to you. Welcome along. It's been one of those days. I've been staring at the screen all day. My head's going poof, poof. So I needed to have a break. So I'm here. Afternoon, Christine. I don't know what's doing down your way, but it's persistently raining here today. It's been persistently raining all day. Not nice. I had to nip out this morning to get a package for my wife. Got me airware. Couldn't do a thing with it when I got back. What's that all about? But yeah, no, I thought I'll give it a chance to settle down a bit. It didn't look as though it was going to, so I might as well do it now, mightn't I? Then I can get back in the house, get back in the warm and the dry for the rest of the day. So I did. Sandy, good afternoon to you. Sunny where you are now, and you have your grandson. Oh, that's beautiful. Spending time with your grandson, that's absolutely lovely. Great way to be spending the day, really. Let me just, oh, hang on a minute, what's going on here? I'm getting stuff all over the place here now. What's going on? I need to just lose that a minute. There we go, take that down there, a little icon that's popped up. Ooh, get myself into a muddle. It's not difficult. Get myself into a muddle. Difficult to get myself out of it sometimes, I must admit. Sunny at the moment where you are, Mrs. P, as well, down in Port Talbot. Ken, good afternoon to you. Ready for your 4pm snack. What time are we doing now? We're doing for time, folks. What is the time? It's, oh, hang on, what was that again? It's, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I did it again, look, I missed the time. How can I do that? 15:58, because I could see my thumb look. Ooh, there we go. Good afternoon to you who are joining us this afternoon. It is our 4pm movement snack. I'm back with you for a couple of days, then I'm off again. Work commitments again. Then back with you Friday. I'm going to give you some pre-warning now, okay? Friday, I'm covering for somebody Friday, and I don't actually finish till 4 o'clock. So we're going to do our snack on Friday at 4:30. So there's a little bit of pre-warning for you now, and I'll pre-warn you again on the day. And Bex will let you know at lunchtime on Friday, to remind you that it's going to be at 4:30, but I'll still be here. I'll just be a little bit late. Julie Matthews, good afternoon to you and everyone from a sunny Port Talbot. George Anderson, Mr. Super G, how the devil are you? A bit overcast in Cruden Bay. It's not overcast, it's not sunny, it's raining here. It's persistently raining, and it's been doing it all day. Bin day. So I've waited for the bin to come in. It's sat in the garage at the moment, drying out before I drag it through to the back of the house. I'll give it a bit of a chance to have a bit of a dry. There we go. Vivian Dixon, good afternoon to you. Stretching after a busy day is what you're looking forward to. Well, listen, we are at 4 o'clock, so it's about time we did a bit of that stretching and swaying, isn't it? Lose the comments off the bottom of the screen if you want to. They are gone. Anybody else who comes on now, we'll say hello to them a little bit later on, shall we? Right, we've got a couple of decisions to make. But before we do that, we need to have our 3, 2, 1, don't we? Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along. I'm Dave Montgomery from Lay Life Training. Today is Tuesday. It's the 14th of September 2021, and this is our 4pm movement snack. Opportunity number 3 to add those additional movements into our day. First decision: can I get off my knees gracefully? We'll try. It's not so much of a decision as a statement, isn't it? Or question. Our main decisions are whether we're going to do this in standing or we're going to do it in seated. Now, if we're doing it in standing, there's always got our fixed external support available. Kitchen's a great place to do this. Work surfaces are around about the right height for this. So this is it's similar sort of height, really. That's the right sort of height for me. But certainly for anybody, I normally say to look, if you're going to do some activity of this sort of thing, you're going to challenge your balance a little bit to try and work on it. Kitchen's ideal, great work surface. They're usually quite long as well. You know, there we go. That's off my chest. Right. So are we standing? Are we seated? Have we got anything on the floor that's going to cause us any issues? If we have, we make sure that that is gone. It's a cleared space for us. Sensible, comfortable footwear so we can feel the floor beneath our feet. You can tell how cold and wet it is. Look, I've got trousers on. I never wear trousers. I started off the day in shorts. I think I was in shorts for about an hour. I thought, do you know what? It's cold. I'm not going to put the heating on. I'm going to put my trousers on instead. So there you go. But sensible, comfortable footwear so we can feel the floor beneath our feet. Right, working at our own pace, whatever your range is or however you want to do it is perfectly all right. So possibly with this, we have a look at the movements firstly and we decide whether we want to do it in standing or seated. That said, let's get on. Posture in standing, heels in line with knees, knees in line with hips. The knees are softened. It's this lengthening that we get, this extra couple of inches we try and gain here, yeah? Twofold. One, it gets us a little bit taller. It lengthens us through the upper body. For me, it gives me a chance to hide the tummy away a little bit more. I popped a little bit of weight on over the last couple of weeks. Ever since I had that holiday, did me in. Lift and lengthen. Shoulders up, back, and pressed down. So we're opening this rib cage. We're opening that chest cavity. We're allowing more air in. In our seated position, then what we've got in our seated position, firstly, we're bringing our back off the chair. So from this restful position of leaning back onto the chair, bring it away. You're now doing all the support work. From there, it's our lift and our shift to bring us into the front third of the chair. And then once we're sat here, we line everything up. Get ourselves ready. We've lined the heels, the knees, we've lifted and lengthened, shoulders are back and down, and we can start with some heel raises. That's where we can start, small movements, yeah? But regular, flowing movements. And then we can start to make them a little bit bigger. So we can take it into a march, lifting the foot off the floor. Now this gives us a chance to get some movement into our ankles as well. So we can start to point the toes down towards the floor a little bit. It's exactly the same in standing, using that support if you need to. But have a look how we get that movement in there. So we bring the heel off the floor first, and then we bring the ball of the foot and the toes off, and then place them down the other way. If we were to not do that, we get this banging motion, we get this stamping motion, and that's not what we want. We want a quiet motion. So if I was to shut up talking for a second, you hear very little. Yeah? Now, it's exactly the same in standing, but you can see in standing, you can get that ability to get those toes moving down. In seated, this can be a bit tiresome here. So remember, you've got those options. You could come back into here. You could take it to a little toe tap out to the side, or a heel dig in front, just changing that motion around so we've got some different movement. Arms coming in as well. Now, depending upon where our support is, it's going to affect what we do as far as our arms are concerned. So we've got support in the front, we've got the ability to change hands by putting one hand down and bringing the other hand off. In seated and in standing, if we're not using support, we can do exactly the same. We can just change hands. However, in standing, what we need to do is bring this down a little bit. We could take a little bit of a march around, so keep those feet moving, or you could stop totally, and away you go. But one hand always stays in contact with that support. You never take both hands off. And then in standing and seated, if we feel ready, if we feel comfortable with it, why not both arms, both legs? We're doing a huge thing for our body here, and it's a great thing we can do first thing in the morning or after we've been sat down for a while. We're boosting the circulation, we're getting the heart pumping a little bit faster, we're getting the blood pumping around the body, and that of course carries the oxygen, which is the energy we need for our muscles. So a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 3 at max, yeah? Make it a little bit of a smaller movement, bring it to a pause. Take a couple of breaths. Bearing in mind here, we shouldn't be out of breath. We may feel that we want to take a couple of deep breaths. That is what we should be. We should be feeling we're breathing a little bit harder. But we don't want to be out of breath. Right, let's go into our sway motion for today then. So we've got some wavy arms, as I said, and we've got some sway motion. So some 3-dimensional movements that are going to happen. Let's start with our arms, and our first arm movement is to bring it up and across, take it forward and around, yeah? So have a look at this movement from the front, from the side, sorry. I bring it up and across to the opposite shoulder, forward and around. So we've got this motion of coming up, sweeping it out and back around. This motion here allows us to turn the wrist. So we bring it up, we float it up to the body, we turn the wrist to take the palm towards the ceiling, and then we float it back down, but out and away rather than just back down. So we're coming away from the body and floating it back down. That's the first part of our movement. To go with that, we can add a sway in from side to side, just shifting that weight from one side to the other, noting that we don't take the knees outside of the shoes, and we don't allow those knees to come any further forward than the toes as well. So we've got this gentle this gentle shift of weight from side to side. And then as we're doing that, we've got this motion that comes across the body, forward and down, across the body, forward and down. So it's coming up towards the shoulder, coming forward and releasing down. Now, if we're using our support and it's in front of us, we've got the ability to do this still. We may want to just put that extra sway in the middle, which allows us to put the hand down, and then we can come across and down back with it. If our support is to the side, then we're going to do it on one side first. You probably do it a few times and then take a turn into the other side to change. In our seated position, it's about our bum. So it's the buttocks that are going to be our feet. They're sitting bones are our feet, and we're shifting that weight from side to side. Now, as we didn't take the foot off the floor, we don't take the bum totally off the seat on the one side. We just shift that weight across from one side to the other. Still sitting tall, the motion comes across, forward and down. Now here you're going to have a bit more forward motion as you bring the hand up, because you need to come over the legs. You could start here with your hands and bring them up, making it a smaller movement, because it is all about, remember, motion that is right for us. So it could be that this motion here is what we need. We're not looking at a bigger motion. However, if you your hands down by the side, you've got to come a little bit forward first to bring it past the leg, and then take it out and forward to bring it down. So there's our first movement. Now we can put that with both hands together. So we've got our good base to support. Our heels are outside of our hips if we're in standing. We start with that shift of weight across from side to side. Let's put that in first, and let's put the arms in. We bring it across, forward and down. And remember, this three-dimensional movement is all about getting the body working in more than one dimension. We do that anyway. This is a chance for us to practice that. It's a chance for the body to get some muscle memory in. Now, once we feel comfortable with that, we can start to say, okay, let's put both arms in. So now here we've got that cross of arms across the front. And you may want to change which hand goes on top as you take them across from one side to the other. Now, of course, if you're using your support, it's one arm at a time. However, what you could do, if you've got that support behind you, you could lose the foot motion and do both hands together. So you've now got this motion here happening with both hands, but you've taken that sway out. So it's what's right for you. And remember that if you have your support to the side, your sway is mainly into the support and then back to the centre. So we bring it across to the support, back into the centre, and that movement would be like this. Yeah. So we've maintained that support. If we take it away from our support, we lose the purpose of the support. So that's why we always go in to our support and then back to our central point. Let's leave it there for today. We're going to add some turns. We're going to add some forward motion into there as well as I go through the week. So I'm with you tomorrow. I'll add some more in tomorrow, and then I think it's Bex again who's covering for me on Thursday. I will check that for you. Let's move into our stretches. So if we're going to start with the back of our lower leg, our calf. Now in standing, with our support to the side of us if we need it, hand comes a little bit further forward than it would do previously as far as that support is concerned. Step back with the leg that is furthest away from your support, toe down, heel down. Let me move this chair for a moment so we can see. Yeah. So from here I've got my hand a little bit further in front than I would do normally. Stepping back, toe down, heel down, keeping the heel where it is, bend the front knee and allow yourself to lean into it. And that's why I put the hand forward a little bit more if I'm using that support. So I'm now level with my support, it's not behind me. In seated, it's the foot away in front, heel down, toes lifted, sitting tall, and ease that heel away a little bit more. Bring the toes in towards us. So whether we're in standing or seated, set yourself up for it and then bring that stretch in. You've probably already started. Remember that it's about feeling that lengthening of the muscle. It's not about feeling any pain. In fact, we shouldn't feel any pain. Hold it for around about 12, possibly up to 20 seconds, and then release out and bring the foot back in. Change it across to the other side. Now in seated, you can just take the other foot out. In standing, you're going to have to turn it into your support to change to the other side. If you're not using support, then again, you can just change to the other side. So you can bring this foot and bend the front knee, bring the foot back in and change to the other side by stepping back, toe down, heel down, bending the front knee and allow yourself to lean into it. Have a look at the key thing here, the key prompt for us here when we're in the standing position, whether we're using support or not. Straight line from head down to heel. So I'm not keeping the upper body tall here, I'm not trying to keep my line in front, I'm just allowing my whole body to lean as I bend that front knee. And then as you've reached that 12 or 20 seconds, unbend the front knee, step back in and feel the stretch ending. Once you've done that, have a little pause for a second. Let's move into the back of the thigh. So again, let's have a look at it in standing firstly. Leg that's closest to support, staying still, knees softened. This time we're going to step forward. Once more, we're going to put that hand in front of us if we're using the support. We're standing tall, lift a little bit taller, and there's a hinge from your hip to come into it. Seated, we start very similarly to how we were before. Heel down, toes lifted, but this time then relax your toes down towards the floor. Sitting tall, sit that a little bit taller, and there's our hinge at the hip. Supporting yourself on this bent leg. Now this will bring the stretch onto the back of the thigh. In seated, if you can feel it in your calf, relax the toes a little bit more. We want to feel it into the back of the thigh. So, into your stretch. Hold it for around about 6 to 8 seconds, let's say. And then take a deep breath in for me. And as you breathe out, if you can, take it a little bit further. So in seated, hinge a little bit more. In standing, push that bottom away a little bit more. And just feel that stretch coming back on. And this is about being able to reach down to our feet, do our shoelaces, reach down to pull your socks up, those sorts of movements. Bring the foot back in after you've unhinged. So unhinge and bring your foot back in. Change to the side. And again, standing, if you're not using support, exactly the same movements. So we step forward, we lift and we tip. Hands can come onto this back leg or hips by your side, but just don't put them on this front leg, okay? So into your stretch. Again, we hold it for around about 6 to 8 seconds. Breathe in, out, and a little bit lower if we can, a little bit more into it. Remember, in standing, what we're doing is we're pushing the bum away. In seated, we're hinging a bit further forward. Always making sure this head is above the heart, so we don't want to bring the head down too much. That's going to throw us forward weight-wise. We don't want to shift that weight forward. Unhinge, step back in. At that point, you might just want to have a little bit of a march or a little bit pedal through on the feet just to release out of them. Let's take the hands out in front. Cup one hand inside the other. Push it away in front of you as if you've got a tree in front of you. So you're bringing your arms around a tree or a big lamppost, whatever. Something round. Could be your best friend. Okay? And then what you're going to do is push forward a little bit. If you feel comfortable with it, lower your head slightly. And your eyesight is coming sort of just below your foot, just below your hands, about 6 foot in front of you. And it's exactly the same in seated. In standing, use that support as a reference point, as a post to lean against. So you can do both arms. And then release on out. That's the upper back done. Let's take it to the front. So we take the hands into the small of the back, either palms in or palms out, you choose. In seated, you can have a different hand position as well. So still that palms in, palms out as an option, but you can also take the hands onto the side of the chair, just behind your bottom. Now the important thing here is we bring the shoulders back a little bit, but the main movement is to lift that chest. And that's what brings that stretch on. Holding it there, eye line staying level, so we're not leaning back, we're keeping the eye line level, lengthening across the front here. Ooh, release on out. Have a little roll of those shoulders. Should we just finish off with a nice deep breath? So from there, let's take a deep breath in. And out. Do it again, breathe in. Bring the hands halfway down. Bring them out in front. In towards your heart. Open up. And go forth and crowbar, my lovelies. There it is, our sway and stretch routine for this afternoon, this Tuesday afternoon. Keep mobility, keep activity on your radar through the rest of the day. Plenty of opportunities still in the day for you to crowbar away some extra activities. It might be standing on one foot while you're doing your teeth, you know, having a bit of a sway while you're doing some preparation for food for this evening. All those sorts of things. A few sit to stands as you get into bed, so you don't actually get straight in. You stand up a few times, sit back down. There's plenty of opportunities still to crowbar away as you go through the rest of the day. That's me done for today. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back with you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow, and take real care. Bye-bye.